We are in the final hours. You see, y'all, for many of y'all who've been paying attention to the news, you see what's been happening around the world. You see chaos that's been happening. All these worldwide events are happening. Shootings are happening. People are being killed. All this violence and the love of many has waxed cold. You know, y'all, the Bible did say these times are happening. The Bible did say that these things will transpire. But sometimes, to be honest, it's like really crazy seeing Bible prophecy come to pass in front of our eyes. Because for years we spoke about Bible prophecy. Many of y'all spoke about Bible prophecy. We spoke about the last days. We spoke about what would happen. We spoke about what would transpire, right? But to see it actually happen now, in this day and time, it's really alarming. You know, we just really have to stay close to God because with all these events that's happening, you're going to see a lot of stuff that's going to take in place. Looting, shootings, people going to start hurting each other. Violence is going to increase. People going to start robbing each other. You're going to see crime on the rise. You know, for all of y'all who, work certain jobs and you come out for a certain time of night, always be in the lookout because you have all these different things happening. Traffickings, kidnappings. People are being trafficked to other countries. People are being killed, robbed, raped. So I was praying y'all just be in the lookout because we are in these hours. You know, the Bible did say these things would happen. And, as followers of Christ, we cannot act like we're shocked. You know, even in many of these movies, you have movies like The Purge that came to pass. You know, they made all these Purge movies. And many people have said that this could be a sign of what's to come. And we can't be shocked. Because with all the stuff that's transpired, you would not even be shocked if some of those movies that they made some of those laws to come to pass. Because crime on the rise, you don't know what type of laws the politicians, all these different people might pass. You know, a lot of times Hollywood, it's sad to say, but sometimes Hollywood, they see more what's to come than many Christians do. You have some Christians to where they're blinded by a world. You got some Christians to where they're focusing on, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm this title, I'm a prophet, I'm a pastor. While there's people in the world who are lost, while there's souls begging for Jesus Christ, while there's people who love to be with the Messiah. You know, there's people to where they wish they could hear about a man named Jesus, but they don't know where to turn. But then the issue is some Christians are so focused and titles and all this stuff and all these scandals that's happening in church. Pastor sleep with this person, woman in the church sleep with that woman, another man sleep with another woman in the church. Fornication, adultery, all these different sins are taking place in church. And yet many people in the church are not speaking up. Even when you look online, you barely see any real people really speaking the truth. It's like nowadays, many people, they don't want to talk about what's in the Bible. People don't want to talk about hell. They don't want to talk about heaven. They don't want to talk about what's to come. So many people, they just end all these motivational messages. Pastor tells you, God gonna bless you. God gonna give you this. God gonna give you prosperity. Oh, you are due for a blessing. And half the time, the people are not even giving their lives to Christ. Half the time, the people, they're not even saved yet. Could you imagine the pastor over here telling people that God's gonna give them all these blessings, and half the people in there not even following God? Half the people in there, they're following their own will. Half the people in there, they care about their own desires versus God's desires. And yet they expect God to just throw a blessing from heaven onto them. You know, y'all, a lot of these cities are gonna go out of hand. Like, nowadays, a lot of people, they talk about leaving America. They talk about, oh, I'm gonna move to another country. America too crazy. I'm gonna move to this country. I'm gonna get out the US. Listen, y'all gotta understand that in these final hours, you can run all you want. You can run to that country. You can run to this country. You can say I'm going to Canada. You can say I'm going to the UK. You can say I'm going to China. You can say I'm going to Jamaica, whichever country you want to name. But guess what? In these final hours, stuff is going to happen everywhere. Of course, America is going to be a spotlight because the Bible says America is a great Babylon that the book of Revelation talks about. America will be the spotlight. But stuff is going to happen everywhere. You cannot run from Bible prophecy. These things have to happen before Christ comes back because he prophesied that it would. I only know that God himself is not a liar. We just have to stay close to God in these final hours because we're in some dark times. We are. People nowadays, is like a lot of people, they're trying to find who to run to. A lot of people, they try to put their hope and trust in politicians, put their hope and trust in the police force, put their hope and trust in relationships, put their hope and trust in even in celebrities. You got people who are worshiping celebrities. You got people who are running to join gangs. But none of that stuff can save you. If anything, some of those stuff can hinder your walk with God. They can hinder your soul. They can even lead you to eternal fire. That's one thing, man. People not. That's why a lot of people gotta realize nowadays is that a lot of people they look for all this fulfillment and all this stuff, but the only person who can fulfill you is Christ. People look to social media. People look to taking all these selfies and post them on Instagram, post them on Facebook, post them on Twitter. People looking to do all these TikTok videos, do all these little dancing and all that. Listen, you could do all that and still not be fulfilled. Look how many celebrities we see. They're millionaires, some of them billionaires. They got all this money, but yet how many of them are truly happy? Look how many stories we're seeing celebrities. Celebrities, they over here, they got millions of dollars, but yet they still struggling with alcohol, still struggling with drugs. Because guess what? Money does not buy you happiness. The only thing that buys you happiness is Christ himself. But you see, many people, they're not going to realize this, and many people, it's sad to say, but they're going to end up in the lake of fire, end up going to hell because they refuse to hearken to God's laws. Many people nowadays, they have a me mentality. They have this mentality that I'm going to do what I want to do because this is my life. I'm going to go where I want to go. They're not serious about making it to heaven. Many people, they talk about they want to go to heaven, but very few people put into actions that really reflects their lifestyle. And this is why many chaos is going to happen. Riots, protests, all this stuff. You see all these things, all these different things taking place. Politics, wars, immigration laws, all this stuff that's happening. And we just gotta stay close to God in these days and times, because we got some days ahead of us, to be honest. Many people, they're gonna say, oh, when is normal coming back? When is this coming back? Look, now we got robots taking over in jobs. We got people losing their jobs to robots. AI is taking over. People can't get a job now because some places there's fully hiring robots. I believe there was a McDonald's in Austin, Texas, one of them places. All the workers are robots. So many people, they're looking where to turn to. People are asking when is normal coming back, but listen, y'all, normal not gonna come back. You're gonna see a lot of floods take place. You're gonna see a lot of hurricanes take place, famines and wars, and all these different aspects have to come to pass, because the Bible states where these things will happen in the final hours. You can't run nowhere else but to God at this point. You can't run. A lot of people gonna try and run to celebrities and politicians, but the only person you can run to is God. Because when all these riots take place, when all these food shortages take place, you can't get food, you can't even buy water. Guess what? The only thing you can rely on at that point is God's favor. Because at that point, many people who are not following God, they won't even know what to do. Sad thing is, people going to turn to crime, turn to looting, turn to riots. But at the end of the day, that's not even the way to go. Because the only thing you're going to be leading yourself to is an early grave. Because if you try to steal someone's stuff, they're either going to kill you, if the police catch you, you'll end up in prison. So, all these things, look, even in New York City, we got people being pushed on the subway now. You got people being thrown on the subway. Innocent people just minding their own business being tossed into a subway platform. People hoping that they get hit by a train. You got a lot of mentally ill people out there nowadays. Look what happened in Charlotte. Woman just minding her own business on a train. Some deranged guy just stands up and just starts stabbing her in the neck. Straight demonic possession. Straight evilness. And the news media sometimes doesn't make it any better, because sometimes the news media, they'll put more fear in you. They'll have people wondering, oh my gosh, what is happening? I don't know what to do. Oh my gosh, who is going to protect me? You got people looking towards other people to protect them. Listen, these final hours, the only person that can fully protect you is the Most High God. The God of Israel, the God of Elijah, the God of the Bible. He's the only one who can save you in this minute. Because guess what? When God's favor is over you, He'll always make a way. There could be no food, no water left, and yet God will still provide. People who are close to God, we see the news and all that, but we're not fully worried. Because fear is of the enemy, because the enemy, he wants us to be afraid. Just as the Bible said, God did not give us a spirit of fear. When God is on your side, He'll always make sure that you're right. He'll always make sure that you're correct. He'll always make sure that you're in the right place. He'll always make sure that His people are fully supplied and they have everything they need to survive and get through, even in these times. Church, keep looking up. Church, like I said, keep looking up, because the coming of the Lord is near, and we gotta make sure that we're ready. Because we don't want to end up being left behind or end up being cast into a lake of fire. End up having Jesus tell us, I never knew you, ye worker of iniquity. And say, Jesus, but I did this and I did that. No, we don't want to be part of that group. Because that group, they got a lot coming to them. But nevertheless, guys, if you like this video, share it, subscribe, and take this message serious, because we're in the final hours. Stay blessed, have a blessed day.